let's take a look at some of this stuff that they're talking about. Pete Buttigieg had a town hall on Fox News with Chris Wallace. And let's start with abortion, because abortion is still the big story going on, and this is something that's everybody's talking about. Wallace asked Pete Buttigieg about abortion, and he would not say that babies should not be killed in the third trimester.
Do you believe at any point in pregnancy, whether it's at 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 24 weeks or whenever, that there should be any limit on a woman's right to have an abortion?
You know, I think the dialogue has got so caught up on where you draw the line that we've gotten away from the fundamental question of who gets to draw the line. And I trust women to draw the line when it's their own life.
Just to be clear, you're saying that you would be okay with a woman well into the third trimester deciding to abort her pregnancy?
Look, these hypotheticals are usually set up in order to provoke a strong emotional...
But in fairness,
all right, so
it's not hypothetical. There's 6,000 women a year who get abortions in the third trimester.
That's right, representing less than 1% of cases.
I know, but 6,000 pregnancies.
Let's take ourselves in, and the bottom line is, as horrible as that choice is, that woman, that family may seek spiritual guidance, they may seek medical guidance, but that decision's not going to be made any better, medically or morally, because the government is dictating how that decision should be made.
Now, it's really interesting that he gets this when it comes to this subject. He gets that people should make their own decisions. The problem here is there is another human being involved who has no vote. That is the problem with this. His basic principle is right. People should make their own medical decisions, but there's a human being unprotected. There's only one person in an abortion room who has no vote, has no voice. Only one. That's the baby. So that is the problem there, you know. But remember what he said. I also have to say these town halls are garbage. These town halls are nonsense. Why should there be an audience there applauding or booing anybody? You know, this is the Bill Maher system. Like, not just Bill Maher, it's all the talk show hosts, Stephen Colbert. When people applaud something, that doesn't make it one bit more true, okay? That is, when we talk about yin thinking, when we talk about storytelling, that is what that is. It does not make, you can say 2 + 2 is 5, and everybody can say, oh boy, what a great guy, and you're still wrong, okay? So they shouldn't, why have them there? You know, people can send in questions, Chris Wallace can ask the questions that people send in, but why have people cheering and booing for ideas? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It is a misuse of democracy. But this is something going on through the whole Democrat Party. I mean, Amy Klobuchar also won't say about abortion. She won't come down and say that there comes a point when you shouldn't do it anymore. All right. So now let's go back though to Buttigieg. Now says that when Democrats talk about all the wonderful things they give you, they should also talk about how they're going to pay for it. And this is cut number 8, as he describes. He does, to his credit, he describes how he's going to pay for it.
When candidates, Democrats, go out promising, as I think we should, that we're going to have major increases in investment in things like education, health, and infrastructure, we also got to be willing to say where the revenue is going to come from. And it's why we really do need to entertain ideas like I would say a fairer, which means higher, marginal income tax rate on those earning the most, a reasonable wealth tax or something like that to make sure that people are giving back when they become enormously wealthy. Perhaps a financial transactions tax that taxes these millisecond differences in computer trades that people become enormously wealthy off. I'm not saying we ban them, but since it's not obvious how much real value they're adding to the economy, the least we could do is get some value for the American people. And also closing the corporate tax loopholes and incentives for offshoring that have it to where pretty much everybody in this room probably paid more, personally, in federal income taxes than some of the most wealthy multinational corporations like Amazon that made billions in profits and paid 0 last year.
Well, first of all, it's not true there'd be 0 because the people in the companies pay taxes, and so the corporate tax to begin with is a double tax. And second of all, what happened to if it's my decision whether I kill a child or not? If he can understand that the government shouldn't make that decision, which of course it should. The government should protect a child's life. Why isn't my decision how I spend my money? What is this giving back? What did these billionaires take that they should be giving anything back? They didn't take anything. They created stuff. They created wealth. They created whatever it is that they did that gave wealth. So why should I do not understand why, in his absolute knowledge that he the Dragon Queen knows what's good, why he gets to decide how that money is spent. I do not understand that. Who gets to decide? Who gets to decide? Why are Democrats so committed that babies should be killed on your decision, but not that your money should be spent by your decision? That's the only decision they're willing to let people make, is what drugs to take, what recreational drugs to take, when to have sex, and when to kill their babies. Why? Because those are three things that will enslave you. And then they get to make all the other decisions because they are the Dragon Queen.